Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take those boring corporate filings and turn them into something, well, slightly less boring. Today we're diving into OFS Capital Corporation's latest quarterly report, and let me tell you, this report is like a roller coaster, some ups, some downs, and a whole lot of financial jargon, but we're here to decode it for you. Get ready to find out if OS Capital is cruising smoothly or hitting a few bumps in the road. First, the basics. This is a look at how the company was doing at the end of March 2025 compared to the end of 2024. Think of it as a financial snapshot. Let's start with the money coming in. For the first 3 months of 2025, OFS Capital brought in about $10 to $30 million in investment income. That's less than the $14.2 million they made during the same period last year. So less money coming in. Of course, running a business costs money. Interest expense was about $9 million for the first 3 months of 2025 compared to $4.6 million last year. So they're spending less on interest. After taking away the expenses from the investment income, OS Capital was left with $3.5 million of net investment income. This is a key number because it shows how much profits they made from their investments, so less than last year's $5.6 million. Now for some bad news, the company experienced losses on their investments. They had a total net loss on investments of $10.80 and of $14.6 million during the same time frame last year, a small improvement. After all the income and expenses, they had a net decrease in net assets, meaning a loss of $7.3 million. This is better than last year's loss of $9 million, but it's still not great. Switching gears, the filing states they aren't currently facing any major lawsuits or legal battles. It sounds like the coast is clear for now on the legal front. The company had to follow some rules with its debts, one of them with the Bank of California credit facility. As of March, they were following the rules and on the way to pay their obligations with this debt. Another very important thing to look at is the net asset value, or NAV, per share. As of March, it was almost 12 hours, which is a bit down from almost $13 at the end of last year. This tells you how much each share is actually worth after taking away debts. And to our bottom line, the company's stock is performing slightly less well than at the end of last year. Shares outstanding as of April 30, 2025 was almost 13.4 million. As with any company report, they have to include something called forward-looking statements, which is basically a disclaimer saying, hey, we're making guesses about the future, but things could change. So don't take everything as a promise. Let's take a look at some financials. As of March 31, 2025, the average share price was around $9. Net investment income in millions of dollars was around 3.5. The weighted average performing income yield for the first 3 months of 2025 was around 13.4%. Indicate by checkmark whether the registrant is a large accelerated filler, an accelerated filler, a non-accelerated filler, a smaller reporting company, or an emerging growth company. Seems like they are categorized as non-accelerated filler. Seems like there are certain parties with whom they make a number of transactions, such as OS Advisor or OFS Capital Management. It looks like the key to the business. In 3 months of expenses, there were around $3.9 million in management fees and $0.3 million of incentive fees. That is how the company spends its money. Now, stepping back and looking at the big picture here, OFS Capital definitely experienced a tough quarter with losses outpacing income. A big chunk of their debt will mature in 2026, which is not too far. And given the rate cuts, it might be hard for them to recover while their expenses stay high. However, it is still a bit too early to tell how the company will perform for the whole year. It also depends on how they manage their investments and what kind of deals they secure moving forward. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown useful, be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more corporate decoding.